Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me in this meditation on overcoming the fear of failure. So if this is something that's important for you, in this meditation I want to offer you a new perception, a new way of thinking. And really that's what meditation is, a chance to step back from the rush and the hustle and the bustle of everyday life and take a breath and drop your shoulders. It's nothing complicated. In some form, you've always done meditation. A way of focusing, a way of observing. It's almost like we can take 2 or 3 steps away and look at it through fresh eyes, a new lens. I see the fear of failure is not something to fight against. I believe it's something to understand. It's not a barrier, but a teacher. Maybe for a lot of us it's a whisper from the past, a whisper of a vital and maybe unresolved life lesson and an issue we need to address. Maybe something we've always put off, avoided. And in those moments when we hesitate, when we don't take a step forward, maybe it's because we think of what others are saying or thinking about us. Is this you? If it is, perhaps it's your time now to address these issues. You may call them blocks or restrictions. I would call them a prison. Because in this meditation we can embrace the wisdom of Wu Wei. And we can try just relaxing and aligning with our natural flow, the flow of life, the flow of who we are, of going with it rather than resisting it. And as you breathe and focus, we can take a deeper dive. We can take a deeper dive into those old beliefs and perceptions. Because I'd like to offer you a new thought. That failure does not even exist. It's not an end point, but a stepping stone. A stepping stone for you for a fresh start, for self-growth, and reaching your potential. So if you're ready, as you know, I like to keep meditation simple, easy, nothing complicated. So whether you're lying or sitting down, just shuffle around and get comfortable. If there's something disturbing you in the other room or you need to shut a door, do it now. Perhaps you'd like to put a pillow under your head or wrap yourself in a blanket. Whatever you need to find a comfortable position. And allow your body to relax. And become what I call the observer. Almost as if you're looking at yourself in these moments that we're meditating together. Scan your body. Is there any tension in your neck, shoulders, arms, legs? Perhaps you'll notice your breath. Try and breathe with me. Long, calm, easy breaths. That allows the thoughts to flow, the words to come naturally. also like to watch the body and the breath working together. It's almost magical. The Chinese call it yin and yang, flowing in and out. And if you want to, you can breathe in deeply with love, calmness. And as you slowly exhale, you can release tension or expectation. Just see where this meditation takes you. We're not here to control, force. We're here to flow. And perhaps we're here to connect. Connect to where you are right now, in the present moment. Do you deserve to be easy? Can you breathe in and welcome that ease into your body? Do you deserve to release pressure, stress, tension? Is that who you really are? And you know, I favor that I call the Centerline meditation. And perhaps we can do that together now. It's very simple. Just imagine a center core, like a core of an apple, stretching down right from the highest point of your head through your body. Could you imagine it? A core going behind your eyes, between your ears. In your mind's eye, trace it down behind your mouth, through the center of your throat, between your shoulders, through the center of your chest. That's good. Just do your own time. Trace it down between your ribs, hips, through your abdomen, out between your legs. And as you breathe, take a few moments to imagine that core, that center. Because now you can begin to use it. And once you practice this, you can use it normally during your day. How you're sitting, how you're walking, how you're driving. With that center core, you can balance your body. Is your head floating on your shoulders? Not too far forward or back. Neither left nor right. And just in that sweet spot. And get used to finding that sweet spot. Because that's Wu Wei. In your flow. This is you naturally. Same with your shoulders. Not one higher than the other. Not too far forward. Not too far back. And then finally, see if you can guide that breath down through the center core. So again, you can use this anytime. No one will know you're doing it. Through challenging periods, difficult times, with practice, one small step at a time, you can breathe down through the center. Notice how it clears your mind, like wiping a blackboard clear. And then we can start to think about some of the teachings about failure. One of the teachings I'd like to offer you, that our life journey is not about perfection. In fact, perfection is a perception. It doesn't exist. Our life journey is what you're doing now. Being balanced in your flow. But we know that can be difficult, challenging. Because we have this nagging, powerful inner voice. The voice of the inner child. the voice of certainty and safety, the voice of looking externally for value and worth. And the fear of failure comes from that little one within. Because it believes that mistakes define them. They have to be perfect. That they can't stand what I call CCJ. Criticizing, comparing, being judged. So they will use all of their effort to avoid that. Can you hear that voice now? Have you heard that voice in the past? The voice is real, but the belief is false. It's an illusion. Why do I say that? Because everyone makes mistakes. I would go even farther. We only learn by making mistakes. But I think you already know this. Deep in your spiritual self, deep in what I call Shen. And let me show that to you. Imagine you have a beautiful physical child, 6, 7, 8, who comes to you as a guardian, as a parent, as a loved one, and says, I must be perfect to be loved. I must not make a mistake, because then I will not be valued. What would you tell them? What would you teach them about their value? Would you say, yes, you're right. Your value only lies in your achievements. Your value only lies in what other people think of you. Would you say to that child, can you picture that child in your mind right now? You're right, sweetheart. If you make a mistake, you are a failure. And you know that that is innately wrong. You would never say that to a child. You would never harm a child in that way. And yet, you say that to yourself. And here is the change in your perception. Here's where meditation can dive deeper. And as you breathe, we're not asking for anything different or difficult. I'm just asking you to give yourself that same kindness and love, that same assurance, that same validation that you would to that child. And you see this idea of fear of failure. In fact, that sentence, fear, is an emotional feeling. And you create those feelings, those red light feelings, saying to yourself, I can't fail. It's too important. Why can't you fail? Why can't somebody criticize you? Because the truth is, they will, and they have, regardless. If you were perfect, they would criticize you for being perfect, being big-headed and know-all. And if you believe truly and honestly that your value and worth is given to you or held from you from others, would you say that to your child? Would you say that to your physical child? Yes, sweetheart. Your teacher, your friends give you value, and if they don't, if you're not in the in crowd, if you're not in the right group, I'm sorry to tell you, darling, you have no value. So again, I'm only asking you to speak to yourself in the same way. That little example is what we call the Shen test. Shen is your spirit, speaking to yourself through your spirit. Try that now. Find that stillness. And just see what it's like to speak to yourself in that way. To see the goodness within you, the magic, the awesomeness. You are unique. There is no one in the universe like you. Can you celebrate that? Can you see that about yourself? And in that stillness, can you go deep into that sacred place deep within you? Perhaps not a place you normally visit. A place that meditation focus can help you visit, can dive deeper until it becomes a haven, a sanctuary that becomes yours, your home. And from here, from this sanctuary, you can start to deal with these old issues we talked about. That maybe go right back into your childhood. Maybe go right back to your experiences which were real. Maybe go back to injustices, unfairnesses. And you see that the way your inner child has tried to deal with it is it wants certainty, it wants safety. It wants to know what's going to happen, so it's prepared. Worst case scenario, that it's never caught out. And so it builds up rigid expectations. But these expectations, this rigidity, are the blocks. What I call the prison. When we try and meet other people's or even our own expectations. And sometimes I find with my clients, we're tougher on ourselves than anybody has ever been. But the truth is that when we do this, we restrict our flow. We restrict ourselves from going to this sanctuary. It's time to understand there's something bigger. This spirituality that doesn't judge, that doesn't criticize, that doesn't compare. It honors your individual uniqueness. There is no such thing as rejection. There is a redirection where you can find a different way right now. That the idea of failure just doesn't exist. It's just part of the journey. It's just a learning. And how do I know this? How do I know this about you? Because you've always coped. You are a coping machine. You've always bounced back. You always will. So what all we're talking about is the style, the grace, the ease in which you do it. To be more truthful, honest. Your authenticity. Speaking to yourself the same way as you would that physical child. Takes away the idea of right and wrong, good and bad, success and failure. Life is not a test that somebody else judges you. Life is your precious, unique journey of learning and growing. You're like an artist. An artist painting your original, beautiful picture with each brushstroke is your discovery. This is unique to you. Your life is this canvas. Every moment is whether you act from your spiritual wisdom, how your picture develops. Can you permit yourself to paint, to be authentic without creating the red light of fear? Can you allow yourself to be naturally just you, part of nature? You're not apart from nature, you are part of nature. Just as a tree does not fear the passing seasons, it adapts. Just as a river finds its way around obstacles, we too move through life. Difficult, easy, flowing, but enjoying the unfolding. Why don't we change the idea of failing into flowing? Why don't you get rid of the illusion? Why don't we value ourselves? Let go of those rigid expectations. Thinking that if we reach a certain goal, then somehow, I don't know, a fairy godmother will float down and make everything right. It's an illusion. Because every challenge, every setback, every situation is the stepping stone to learning. This is your journey. No one will share your journey. Like no one will experience your emotions. Take a deep breath, just to go into the stillness. Maybe you can't accept right now what I've been saying. For what's true? What's your truth? In this present moment, can you breathe? Can you relax? And can you step into your full power? Can you let go of those negative red light feelings? Can you stop being like a dog chasing its tail, chasing success, chasing other people's affirmations and validations that never really come? Can you embrace your journey? Your path is yours. No one can walk your path. And certainly no one is in a authority position to tell you, to look down on you and tell you what you should, what you shouldn't do. Nobody is in a position to give you or take away your value. And that's why I call every experience a teacher, like this experience. Do you reject? Do you accept? You have a choice. Can you believe in yourself? Can you trust your ability? Because you are exactly where you need to be right now. These lessons are the lessons you need to learn. It's not a test. This is your journey. But if you look back with honesty, you see that every experience enriches you, allows you to grow. Can you release self-judgment? Can you respect yourself? Can you accept that your worth is innate, inherent, your birthright, not something to be bartered, given away, taken back? As we come towards the end of our meditation together, can you relax deeper and just experience that flow, that grace, that ease? That what others think about you is just none of your business. Can you truly affirm to yourself, I am capable. I can cope because I always have. I am resilient. I have always found a way through. And I am evolving, growing, learning. I am enough. Exactly as I am. So breathe. You are not weak. You are unique. If you're ready, we can step forward and build this truth, this knowledge about your uniqueness. But we build from the center. We build from that spiritual Shen sanctuary. And you can walk forward, free, fearless, and fully aligned with the flow of your life. So the final breath now. See if you can reconnect to the center core. Don't rush. You can reflect on everything we've talked about. You can reject or accept. When you're ready, I'll gently count you back into the room. Try not to rush. Stay longer if you want to. 1, 2, 3. Breathe deep now. Bring the energy back into your body. 4, 5, 6, and 7. And you can open your eyes whenever you want. I would always recommend giving yourself a little shake, a big breath. Give yourself a few moments to come back into the reality of your life. And thank you so much for sharing this meditation with me. I hope it's given you a lot to think about. And maybe you need to listen to this 2 or 3 times and see what you do reject and why you reject it. Until we meet again, I wish you Yi Dao, Qi Dao.